Good morning, boys and girls. We are on page 97, lesson 18 homework. Make sure you guys are on the correct page. This is problem number 1. It asks you to estimate the quotients for the following problems. The first one is done for you. So this is a review of the lesson yesterday, except for the numbers are larger. So the same idea applies. You want to make sure that you are using numbers that are easy for you to divide so that when you apply this to real life situations, it is easy for you to use it mental math in your head, okay? So estimating means that you're rounding the number, and quotient means the answer to a division problem. The answer to a division problem. And if you notice, all of these are division signs, so you're answering to a division problem. So the first one has been done for you as an example, 8,328 divided by 41. They rounded 8,328 to 8,000 and 41 to 40. And when you divide 8,000 divided by 40, you get 200. So that's what you'll see here. We're dividing 2,109 to 2,000 because 2,000 is closer to 2,000 than it is to 3,000. We're dividing by 20, so 23 is being rounded to 20 because 2,000 divided by 20 is easier to divide than it is to divide 8, 30, or 40, and so on. So 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0, so I'm crossing it out. And then I have 200 divided by 2, okay? 200 divided by 2, what does that give me? So 200 divided by 2 is going to, or 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1, and then I add my 2 zeros at the end, and that gives me 100, okay? Now over here, I have 8,215 divided by 38. 8,215 can be rounded to 8,000, and 38 can be rounded to 40. 8,000 divided by 40 is what I have here. 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0. 8 divided by 4 is equal to 2. And add my 2 zeros at the end. My final answer is 200. Over here, I have 3,861. What I'm going to do is I can round 3,861 to 3,600 divided by 60. I rounded 59 to 60. The reason why I put 600 is because it's a closer estimate, and also 36 divided by 6 is equal to 6. So it is easier to divide that number than if I were to leave it at 4,000, right? So I have 3,600 divided by 60. 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0, so I can cross those out. 36 divided by 6 is equal to 6, and my 0, so my final answer is equal to 60. If I want to check my answer, what I could do is multiply 2. Do it backwards. 60 times 60 is equal to 3,600, and that is correct. Over here, I have 2,899 divided by 66. I'm rounding 2,899 to 2,800, and I'm rounding 66 to 70. I know that 2,800 divided by 70, 7 can go into 28 4 times. Cross off these zeros because 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0. And I have 1 0, so that's what I'm adding to my answer because 280 divided by 7 is equal to 40. For the next question, I have 5,576 divided by 92. 5,576 can be rounded to 5,600. 92 can be rounded to 100. 5,600 divided by 100. I can cross off my zeros because 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0. So my final answer is 56 because 56 divided by 1 is equal to 56. For our next problem, we have problem G. We have 5,086. 5,086 divided by 73. 73 can be rounded to 70. So I can round 5,086 to 4,900 to have an easier estimate to round. So in this case, I'm going to cross off my zeros because 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0, and 49 divided by 7 is equal to 7. So my final answer is 7. Over here, we have 8,432 divided by 81. I know that 8,432, I'm going to change that to 8,800 and round 81 to 80 so that it is easier to round. 8,800 divided by 80. 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0, so I have 880 or 88 divided by 8, which gives me 11, and add my 0, I get 110. Over here, I have 89, which can be rounded to 90. 9,032 can be rounded to 9,000. I have 9,000 divided by 90. 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0. 9 divided by 9 is equal to 1. Add my 2 zeros at the end, and my final answer is 100. Over here, I have 2,759. So I'm making sure that I am rounding this number to a number that is easier to estimate or round. So I have 2,000, I want to round 48 to 50, and I have 2,759. I can round that to 2,500. 2,500 divided by 50. 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0. 25 divided by 5 is equal to 5. Add my 0 at the end, and my final answer is 50. And I can check. 50 times 50 is equal to 2,500, so that is correct, okay? Next, I have 8,100. So I'm writing down 8,100, changing 91 to 90, and I have 8,100 divided by 90. Cross off my zeros because 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0. 800 or 81 divided by 9 is equal to 9. Add my 0 at the end, and my answer is equal to 90. Over here, I have 4,368 divided by 63. 4,368 can be rounded to 4,200. 63 can be rounded to 70 or 60. Actually, 60 would be a closer estimate. So I have 4,200 divided by 60. I'm crossing off my zeros because 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0. 42 divided by 6 is equal to 7. Add my 0, and my final answer is 70. Problem M. I have 6,537 and 74. I can round 74 to 70 and 6,537 to 6,300. 6,300 divided by 70. 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0. 63 divided by 7 is equal to 9. Add a 0 at the end, and my final answer is 90. Over here, I have 4,998, which can be rounded to 5,000. 48 can be rounded to 50. I have 5,000 divided by 50. Cross off the zeros because 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0. 500 divided by 5 is going to give you 100 because 100 times 50 is equal to 5,000. Over here, I have 6,106, so I'm going to write down 6,000. 25 can be rounded to 30. 6,000 divided by 30. I have 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0. 600 divided by 3, or 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. Add my 2 zeros, and my final answer is 200. Turn the page. We are on page 98. Right here it says there are 91 boxes of apples hold a total apple of 2,605 apples. Okay, first thing I'm doing is I'm picturing what is the story that I have. The story that I have is that there are apples in a bunch of boxes, okay? And how many boxes are there? 91 boxes. I don't have time to draw 91 boxes, but I'm drawing some pictures out so that I know that there are a lot of boxes that is being filled with little apples. So in each box there are a bunch of apples in them. It says altogether there are 2,605 apples. So I'm just drawing random apples so you guys can visualize it in your head. Because if you're not visualizing what's going on in the story, you're not going to be able to solve what is your answer. So that's what I'm doing there. I'm drawing it out. Now it says, assuming each box has about the same number of apples, estimate the number of apples in each box. Remember, estimating means that you're rounding the numbers in each box. So they're saying They want you to figure out by dividing 2,605 divided by 91 how many apples are in each box, because we don't know how many apples are in each box. So we have 2,605, and I'm rounding that to 2,700, and I'm dividing that by 90 so that it's easier number to divide. 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0, so I don't need to write that down. 270 divided by 9. 27 divided by 9 is equal to 3. Add my 0, and approximately I have about 30 apples in each box. Problem number 3. A wild tiger can eat up to 55 pounds of meat in a day. About how many days would it take for a year or for a tiger to eat the following prey? So I'm imagining a tiger in my head. Tigers eat a lot. That's not a really good picture. I tried. But they have stripes, right? They're very big cats. That's what they are. My picture is terrible. I'm sorry. But they have stripes and they are tigers. They look like big cats. So we know that a tiger can eat about 55 pounds of meat a day. So imagine that this is a piece of meat that he's eating. 55 pounds of meat a day. So they're asking how many days would it take for a tiger to eat the following prey. So this is a really sad story, because if you are a vegetarian or vegan, then you're imagining that these tigers are eating animals. So we have the eland antelope, and they eat, and the weight of the prey is 1,574. So that means that I'm dividing this by 55. Same thing with the boar. Same thing with the chital deer and the water buffalo. Dividing every single thing by 55. So I wrote it down here so that it's easier to picture. I have 1,754 pounds, and I'm dividing that by 55. I rounded 1,754 to 1,800, and I'm dividing it by 60 because it's an easier number to round. Now, I forgot to write this step, but I have 1,800 divided by 60, crossing off my zeros because 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0. And then I have 18 divided by 6 is equal to 3. Put my 0, and I have 30. So the first one is it's going to take 30 days, okay? Second one, I am rounding 661 pounds to 660 divided by 60. And when I'm looking at this, I know that 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0, so I don't have to write that down. 66 divided by 6 is equal to 11. So I'm writing down 11. For the next one, I have 183 divided by 55. 183 can be rounded to 180. 55 can be rounded to 60. 180 divided by 60. 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0. 18 divided by 6 is equal to 3. For my last one, I have 2,322 divided by 55. 2,322 can be rounded to 2,400, and 55 can be rounded to 60. I'm crossing off the zeros because 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0. 24 divided by 6 is equal to 4. Add my 0 at the end, and my final answer is 40. Okay? So that's how you solve for that one. And I pictured in my head what was going on first. Figure out the story. What are they asking you to do? And then solve for the problem. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions, and have a great rest of your day.